Eze is done. Eze is an Arsenal player. Eze will be unveiled, in my opinion, today. Arsenal were at home, first home game of the season against Leeds, and they have signed an absolute superstar. I thought long and hard about this last night. 60 million for, what's his name? Gyökeres. 60 odd million for Eze. There are add-ons for both, but I'm not including the add-ons until they've achieved things. Because I try my best to not do that for any club. 120 million pound. Eze and Gyökeres. Some of the best business you'll see all year. When you consider that Liverpool, who I think have had a phenomenal summer, I think have had an amazing summer, in fact, they have bought so brilliantly, fantastic profiles, excellent engines and athletes, and goals and creativity galore. Hugo Ekitike, of course, Wirtz, and I still think Liverpool are going to add Isak. But Isak and Wirtz, and I use them as an example because they'll be the main 10 and the main 9. That's a combined total base, by the way, of about £240 million, which I don't necessarily think is overpriced for who and what they are buying. But 120 million, 50% of that, for Eze and Gyökeres, pound for pound is superior business. Because I don't think that you're going to get double the performances, double the output, double the goals, double the quality, double the consistency from Isak and Wirtz. Now, there are circumstances as to why it's cheaper. There was a buyout clause and a gentleman's agreement for Gyökeres, and also a buyout clause for Eze. So I'm not praising the negotiation skills of Arsenal versus Liverpool. The same as I always push back when Chelsea fans used to say, oh my God, we got Kante for 27 million. When City fans go, I can't believe we got Haaland for 52 million. There were buyout clauses. You didn't just discover fire or make fire. You didn't invent the wheel. You've just paid a buyout clause. I went to the shops, KJ. This loaf of bread, it's normally £3 everywhere else. I got it for 180. Oh, how did you manage that? It was on offer. I mean, KJ's just going to say, shut the fuck up, you idiot. You're talking, you're not a great haggler because you just paid the asking price. So that isn't what I'm focusing on here. What I'm looking at, what I'm talking about is the sheer quality per pound that has been spent. Gyökeres and Eze, as a collective piece of business, because they are going to support each other, the creativity and the goals is phenomenal. I also saw these facts. And based on Premier League players last season, Arsenal Football Club now have, and now this is a huge, huge statistic, Arsenal now have 3 of last season's top 5 players for direct offensive contributions, so shots and key passes. So these are the players that create the most goal-scoring opportunities in the league. And this was all attacking midfielders and wingers. So it's all attacking midfielders and wingers, not strikers. Attacking midfielders and wingers in the league that have played 1,620 minutes plus. And they now have, and by the way, the fact that Saka was top and he missed so much of the season is crazy. The fact that Arsenal now have 3 of last season's top 5 is massive. But of course, what this also does is it raises that expectation. And it must raise that expectation. It must push the expectations and the demands of this squad to another level. And there's been a lot of talk about this in the last few days around, is there enough expectation on Arsenal? Is there enough pressure on Arsenal? And my view is very simple. I think there is a lot of pressure on Arsenal. Doesn't mean we should be lying about the figures. We saw, one of the biggest X accounts for football news in the world push out some numbers that were, I think they added around 36% to Arsenal's total spend, but minused off somewhere in the region of 600 to 700 million of Pep's total spend to create this weird narrative. They didn't specify it was net spend. If they did, it's also inaccurate because net spend doesn't exist in the realms of football clubs. They don't operate in that banal way. So it's really important to remember that. But there has to be expectation here. And I think I haven't even come across a single Arsenal fan. Arteta in, Arteta out, Arteta I don't care. Saka's amazing, Saka's not amazing. I'm talking the wide-ranging gooners out there. I haven't come across a single one who has said the expectations stay as they were, nothing changes. They are all demanding league titles. They are all demanding big victories. They are all demanding a vast improvement on last year. And that's absolutely right for Arsenal fans to push for this. And I think to expect this from their team because they have signed so many brilliant players, great age profiles as well. Their main guys in now Eze, Gyökeres and Zubimendi, all of them mid late 20s, experienced, played at the highest level of the game, all internationals. 2 of the 3 have played in the Champions League. I mean, Eze, though, has played for England at the Euros. They've all been at international tournaments, etc. They've all won things as well, which I think is really key to add into your dressing room. Not a lot of these Arsenal players. Arsenal haven't won a lot as a collective, but it's important to bring people in that have won things, that understand it, because they help bring that winning know-how. And you'll have that with Zubimendi, what he did with Spain, Gyökeres, back-to-back league champions, top goal scorer. What Eze did last year from a clutch perspective, I think was really, really key. But where I agree with the rivals, but I'll put some, what I believe to be the correct rationale behind it, is Arteta must now go and win trophies. For Arteta to stay the leader, the coach, the manager, whichever phrase you want to use, of this fantastically talented group of individuals, he must now win trophies. He has to get over the line. Now, there may be reasons and things happen, but I think he should be the biggest focus of the Arsenal board over this season in relation to what's the next step should Arsenal not win something. They have to look at him. There are no excuses for him, barring one of the most injury-ravaged seasons in the history of the Premier League. By and large, there are no excuses. He has the creativity, he has the physicality, he has the goals, he has the midfield control, already has the best defence in the league. Fantastic goalkeeper. This summer, with 7 players being bought, the squad depth is now there. Because for me, when you even look at the Kepa's an improvement backup goalkeeper. Mosquera, there's a lot of people raving about this young man as a centre-back ready to go, they say. Norgard is an improvement in 2025 on what they had in an ageing Jorginho. I think Zubimendi will prove to be better than Thomas Partey. Eze, barring Saka, is better than all their 10s and all their other wingers. I don't care which position he plays in. He is better. And I think people are suddenly forgetting this. Gyökeres is one of the best strikers in the world. He's definitely better than what they had. You've got Noni Madueke that I don't even think was that good a signing. But he is better than Raheem Sterling in 2024-25. He's better than Reece Nelson. They've improved. So I'm now looking at Mikel Arteta and saying, you've got to now start delivering trophies. You've got to maintain the charge on the title always. And you've got to start picking up trophies. But it is win-win for Arsenal. For Arsenal fans, you're in a win-win situation. It will be disappointing for you, absolutely, if you don't win something this year. But I believe if you're bored, there's anything about them, if they have the true ambition to win, if you come second and you miss out by 8-9 points, Champions League semi, narrowly going out again, did well in the cups, but just couldn't quite get over the line. But you know the team, you got the players. The action of the ball will tell you everything. If they move on from Arteta and they say, thank you for the rebuild, thank you for everything you've done, thank you for getting us to the edge, but we are going to now move on and attempt to find someone that can take the club and the team to that next level, I think you're on to a winner because the squad's there, it's ready. You don't need a new rebuild. You don't need phase 1 nonsense again. And when I say nonsense, phase 1 was needed, phase 2 was needed. But you don't go back to phase 1. You get this a lot from amoebas, this notion of, well, a new manager means new phase. Not necessarily. the new manager would just pick up in phase 4. Phase 5 is when you're winning those major trophies, if we go by Arsenal's terminology. If the ball goes the other way, though, and still sticks with him, it becomes a conversation not about Arteta anymore, again, for the intelligent people in the room. It becomes about, well, what will Arsenal fans do to push their board to make the right decision? Because if at board level they're happy just to qualify for the Champions League, then it doesn't matter about sacking a manager or not, because it means you'll probably, if you haven't got the attitude as a club to reach the pinnacle, nothing will change. It's not as sexy. You don't get as many views online. You don't get as much attention for calling a board out as you do, and your owners out in the same way you do a manager. It's just the nature of the beast. But that would be my view. But the deal is done. He is an Arsenal player. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you feel. Let me know in the comments section below, people. Also, hit that like and that share button as well. Thank you.